everyone, my name is Montse Robles, as many of you probably already know. This is my podcast that has yet to be named or titled Welcome. So, the reason I want to start a podcast, since the pandemic, I've had a lot of fucking time to think. And I've lost my 2 jobs on campus, school went online. So, yeah, I have a bunch of time to think. And I've kind of always wanted to get into creative projects like this, and I've never had the time to. So, this is a reason for the podcast. And I'm going to talk about a lot of things for the next few episodes that I'm doing. I don't know how long this is going to be. I don't know how long. I think my episodes are probably going to be like 15 to 20 minutes long. If I have a guest, maybe 30. But the topics I want to talk about are, obviously, I want to talk about mental health. I want to talk about therapy, family, college, LGBTQA plus issues, racism, colonialism, religion, meditation, spirituality, all that good stuff. I want to talk about it because that's kind of what I've been going through in my life right now. And today's topic, going into that, why the hell I'm deciding to take a year off school. And it's not just to disappoint my mom. My mom's probably listening to this. Hi, Mom. It's not just to disappoint you. I promise. So when the pandemic happened and everyone lost their jobs and I had a lot of time to think. The first 2 weeks of being at my house with absolutely fuck nothing to do, I've had so much time to think and strip away school, strip away my job, strip away all these kind of accomplishments, I guess, that I was engaging in my everyday life. I felt empty. I felt like my worth wasn't being displayed anymore. And stripping out all those things that was happening to me kind of made me realize, like, oh my gosh, there's so much that I still need to uncover about myself. There's so much I still need to heal from in myself. And I've kind of been living my life these last 15 years of being in school as a giant journey of escapism. And I'm going to get into a little bit about my childhood here. So for those who already know this story or already know me, cool. For the people who don't, first of all, thank you for listening. If you don't really know me and you're listening to this, like, really cool of you. Thank you. Awesome. Sorry, I got a sip of water. My childhood was, it wasn't like the white picket fence kind of childhood, there was always obviously issues. My parents got divorced. There was addiction in my household. But I was the youngest. And at a very, very young age, I realized that if I just locked myself up in the room with books, and if I did well in school, that I could usually avoid all the problems. But that's still not true. Like, that's what I thought as a kid. And still thought till this day. Like, I still think that till this day. And that, I guess that's part of the issue. So it's kind of like a form of escapism when I would do well in school and everything. And I learned that. And it made my mom obviously very happy that I was doing well in school. So it made me happy. And it kind of became like this award system I got where I felt good. I felt very productive when I was doing well in school. And it made me feel like I was able to escape the situation. And I was able to avoid becoming something that I didn't want to become, that I feared becoming, which was, I guess, just another representation of my childhood or what I saw in my childhood. So I use it as a form of escapism. And these past 15 years since I've been doing that, it's been working. It's been working for me. But it really hasn't. Because if you're constantly trying to escape something, that means it's already got you. If you're already escaping something, it's like Princess Peach, she's in the castle, She's in the castle. She's trying to escape. And I don't know where I'm going with this fucking metaphor, but I'm trying to escape this and I'm tired of escaping it. I think it's time to fight it. And so when I'm still at home. I'm at home and I'm thinking all this, you know, without school, what am I? Who am I? All these existential crisis. I guess there's an existential crisis in a bit. All these things I'm thinking, I realize like shit. Like I have been using this as a coping mechanism. And the therapy I learned in high school, I started going to therapy in high school. I started learning that I had anxiety in high school. And it was like small. It was pretty small, I thought. Pretty manageable. Now that was in high school where I didn't have to pay my own bills or my own rent. And my classes were pretty easy. Because I was a naturally studious person, all throughout my entire educational K through 12, I was basically chilling. I mean, I worked hard, but I was chilling. In college, it's so different. Like, you have different stressors, and I wasn't prepared for these stressors, and it started making me not enjoy the experience. And I know I could enjoy it. I know I could enjoy college because that's literally what I've been gearing for my entire life. And the fact that I wasn't enjoying it because I have all these stressors. I have these new stressors, and then I have the stressors from my childhood that I've always been trying to escape from, that I have not faced. I did a little bit facing my childhood in therapy, but it scared me. It really did scare me. And something that my former therapist told me was that she diagnosed me with anxiety. Great. But then a few sessions in, she's telling me, oh, I don't need to go to therapy forever, which is great. But then that started making me feel like, oh, I didn't really need to go. So I didn't take my therapy as seriously. So I didn't learn a lot of the ways I could cope adult stress. And I kind of stopped going once I started getting these adult stressors, because it's like, wow, now I don't have time for, self-care or mental health. And that, obviously, that was a mistake I made, and I'm reevaluating a lot of my decisions. But I need therapy. I know that. So taking this year off, what I'm basically doing is, this is like going to be a boot camp year for me, but for mental health. Like, I'm just going to kill my anxiety with kindness towards myself. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm going to go into therapy, do more forms, not be scared to do the things I need to do. I was suggested that I do a hypnotic form of therapy where they put you in the situation that your anxiety stems from. So they'll literally put me in a scene from my childhood under hypnosis, and I'll have to describe it, and I'll have to describe everything. And just talking about it, like, I could feel a ball grow in my throat. Like, I'm like, no, I don't want that. But I fucking need it. I need it because for these past 15 years of me doing school, I've dictated my worth on how well I do in school and how well I could escape that shit. And I can't. And I'm not doing it. But if I actually do it, then maybe I could start enjoying my school as not a form of escape, but as a stepping stone to my goals. Because my calling is teaching. I've known I wanted to be a teacher since I was a kid. So, Mom, don't worry. Like, college is going to be there. It's always going to be there for me to return to. And this whole deferring a semester, I'm still admitted as a student. So I'll still be able to enroll in classes as if I was never gone. So that's like a huge plus for me. I just need this time. I just need this time to reconnect with my inner child, take care of them for a bit, take care of the little girl that is inside of me that's asking for help. Dear God, I'm sorry that I've neglected you for so long. I'm sorry. And then, figure out some of the other ways I could cope with my stress. And it's not just childhood stress or childhood trauma that causes anxiety. There's other things. Obviously, being 20 years old and discovering myself as a person, that causes a lot of stress too. And learning how to cope with all that. And I think I'm doing this in the perfect time because of this pandemic, I've already had this semester kind of off of school. I took incomplete grades, so I'll be able to eventually finish those classes up and it won't affect my GPA at all. I could still get an A in those courses that I took incomplete grades for. Um where was I going with this? Anyways, I think I'm going to be fine. My calling is still my calling, and the things I want to do for my community mean the world to me. Like this is my life. This is what I want to do with my life. And if it does take me a little longer to get there, then fine. I got to be patient with myself and I got to be loving with myself. For the first time, I mean, I've been really disciplined. For 15 years I've been in school and I've been a hella disciplined person, but only disciplined in academia, but not disciplined in my mental health. And it'll get you. It'll catch up with you. It caught up with me when this pandemic happened, because I realized strip all these things away that I've used to shadow and escape. And I'm still an anxious little ball of fuzz. And I need to handle that. Especially, I mean, think of my future students. Like, I can't recall how many times I went to my teachers with so much, like, not drama, like trauma. And, like, I was very open to my teachers about what was going on in my household. But that was after my parents' divorce. But anyways, so they couldn't do anything about it. But I was very open about what I had experienced. And God, like, I bet that caused them some sort of, like, you listen to these stories and I bet it causes them some sort of trauma, some sort of, like, you absorb the stories you're hearing. And I know I'm an empathetic person. If I see someone hurting, like, I could read someone. I know how to read the room really well. And that, again, I think it's something I learned from my childhood. I knew how to read the room when tensions were getting high. I knew when to leave. I knew when things were going to go down. I just knew. I knew how to read rooms. I know how to read people. So as a teacher, like, I want to hone in all these skills because I don't think my childhood is just trauma. I think there's power in the things I've learned. I think there's always a good side and maybe not a bad side. I don't want to say it's a bad side, but it's a side I need to conquer. Like, I don't want to call them powers. They're not powers. They're just skills. They're skills you learn in situations. You learn these survival skills. These are survival skills. And I want to hone in on them. And that's going to make me an even better teacher. I won't just have the academic side. I'll have the emotional side for my students too. And I'm more about that. Like, I want my students to do great and I want them to accomplish academically. But I just want to make sure that they know that I'm there for them, that I'm there for my community. And I have to do that within myself first. And maybe not first, because I think you could definitely help people while you're not helping yourself. So many people do that. That's why so many people feel neglected and taken advantage of. I don't necessarily feel like that. I feel like I've done that to myself, though, that I've taken advantage of myself and I've neglected myself for others. But it wasn't really for others. It was just for myself because it makes me feel good, making other people feel good. But now that is over and I realized, like, I've finally made a decision to do something about this, I feel even more confident in myself. Even though I'm taking a year off, I feel more confident that I'm going to be a better teacher now than I did a few months ago when I was dragging my ass through my courses. I was passing. I could finish on my degree. But I don't want to just finish up my degree. I want to experience my degree. I want to be a master of what I'm learning. And I need to be enjoying that. I need to be enjoying what I do, because that's what's going to help me. So that is most of what I'm going to be what I just talked about today. I'm going to end off it goes, And this is by Cherry Moraga. She is a lesbian Chicana writer. Amazing. I'm completely obsessed with her. And this quote I think is really good to end off of, you know. It says, "Sometimes a breakdown can be the beginning of a kind of breakthrough, a way of living in advance through a trauma that prepares you for a future of radical transformation." Cherry Moraga. Love her. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm going to end my podcast with these inspirational quotes and always a reminder just to be kind to yourself, be kind to the people around you and the people not around you. Don't be fucking racist or mean. Don't be homophobic, I guess. Like all these reminders. I'm going to end off my podcast with that. But all in love, all in positivity, all in self-reflection and self-discovery. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to end this off with the song. I hope you guys enjoy.
I'm weak, I'm low, I'm lonesome, and I know I'm down, lost and confused, spent all day I'm cold, inside of my room, don't know what to do, I'm wasting all my time waiting for a red light, turn time into no time by questioning why do I feel fear? Spend all my time running from fear. Turn time back, stop running to heal. Fear to deathbed. Deathbed to fear. You've knocked me down too many times to see. Asking for help because I don't wanna be an old soul filled with regret, lying on my deathbed, praying God take me back, for I'm screaming it's too late, it's too late, it's too late, it's too late. Listen, 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 listen. Fear. Spend all my time running from fear. Turn time back, stop running to heal. Fear to deathbed. Deathbed to fear. Spend all my time running from fear. Turn time back, stop running to heal. Fear to deathbed. Deathbed to fear. So, it's too late, it's too late for promises, promises. It's too late, it's too late. So honestly, promise you. Listen, listen. I hope that you listen, listen. It's too late, it's too late for promises, promises. It's too late, it's too late. So honestly, promise you. I hope that you listen. thoughts are running from fear. Turn time back, stop running to